Hi everyone, welcome to the Laser channel. My name is Greg, and in this video, I'm going to be making this foam flyer airplane. Join me as I show you step by step how to make this fun and easy project. Welcome back to the Laser channel. In this step-by-step follow along video, I'll show you the material that I'm using, the machine setup that I have, what I'm doing in the Lightburn software, and then finally the cutout of the project and the assembly. And don't worry, when I show you the setup that I have, I will not bore you with all the technical jibber jabber. I will have all the product and material links in the description down below, free to check out later, and feel free to bookmark any of those links for future reference. To get started with the materials, I'm using this thin EVA foam. I can purchase a large bag of this from my local craft store for not a lot of money. I'm going to be using honeycomb. And for that, I'm going to place the aluminum backer plate on my work table surface. I like to have some painter's tape off to either side to keep that board from shifting around. And next is the sheet of honeycomb. And I'm going to top off that honeycomb with the Sculpfun S30 Pro. The Pro version features a 10-watt laser module, and the Sculpfun S30 series all include an air assist pump. For this project, because we are cutting, I do highly recommend having a honeycomb kit and an air assist kit. And because we are cutting out material, I want to capture and evacuate any fumes coming off of the project material. And for that, I will be using a laser enclosure. So I have everything all set up. A quick word about safety. If you choose to follow along, please read and understand the manual that comes with your laser machine. And because I'm using a newer material in my shop, that EVA foam, I searched multiple different sources and they were all saying that EVA foam is a laser safe material according to the sources that I found. We are still producing fumes while cutting, and that's why I have this laser enclosure, because I want to capture and exhaust any of those fumes outside of my work area. Join me next up as I show you the project file inside of Lightburn software. Welcome to Lightburn. I have the project file already loaded in, and before I show you all the different layers and what everything is doing in this project file, I want to draw your attention to the slot for the airplane wing, and if I pan over, this slot to the rear of the airplane. I'm going to measure the foam to make sure that the height of this slot is going to be a little bit less than the thickness of the foam. This will ensure that the parts fit together cleanly and tightly. A quick measurement of the foam shows that it is going to be about 0.08 inches thick. Here I'm going to click on that airplane wing slot, and I'm going to make sure that this padlock is unchecked. I only want to adjust the height. And we measured 0.08 inches, and I want to have something a little bit less than that, so I'm going to try 0.075 inches. And when I click on this back one, I have 0.07, and I'm going to leave that one alone. That way I can kind of compare the fit between the two slots. This project file has 3 different layers. The first layer cuts everything out using the black 00 layer. I have a speed of 55 millimeters per second with a power level of 40%, and I have the air on. Layer 01, the blue line, is going to be a score line, and that's just to help line up the wing to the body of the airplane when assembling. And because this is a score line, I'm keeping the speed the same at 50 millimeters per second, but the power level is very low at only 10%. And moving on to the green 03 layer, again, these are just some score lines to aid in assembly of the airplane. And that power level is at 10%, again, with the speed at 50 millimeters per second. Only one pass is needed for each of the score lines. The cutout needs 3 layers, and again, this helps keep that cutout line nice, clean, and narrow. I have the air turned on for all three, and I'm mentioning this because the Sculpfun S30 Pro machine, the air pump for the air assist is controlled by these little toggle switches. Pretty neat feature that they have added. This all looks great. I'm ready to place the material into the work area. To keep the material from shifting around during the project lasering, I like to use these magnetic strips, and I put one just on each edge, just ever so slightly on the material, keeps it securely in place. With that complete, I'm ready to power on the laser machine. And with my start from position in absolute coordinates, I will hit the home button and the machine will go through its homing routine. I'll navigate over to the Move tab, and I'm going to change my move distance to about 2 inches. And I'm going to use this keypad here and index the laser up. And we'll see that I've got this little red crosshair that moves around on the screen. That is going to be the actual position of the laser module. I'm going to change that move distance down to about 0.25 inches and do some finer increments. And I'm just going to manually jog the laser head over to the edge of the project material. And when I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to highlight my entire project. I can also hit Control A and select everything, and I will move my artwork over to that start position. If I follow the crosshairs up, we'll see that it's inside of what would be the work material. And when I go over on this direction, we'll see that I'm also inside. We'll double check this by hitting the frame button. That looked good. I've got everything set. The only thing left to do is to hit the start button. Everything's complete. I'm going to give this enclosure just a minute to catch up, exhausting all the fumes out. I'll move this laser module out of the way. And before I touch the magnets, I'm going to just double check that these parts are completely cut out. If they weren't, I can turn off those engraving layers and just add another pass to cut out, knowing that I didn't shift all the work around, but I can see that this all cut out very neatly and cleanly. So these parts, they all just fall right off. These parts cut out super clean. There's no burning or charring on any of the parts. All the parts cut out really clean. Next step is to assemble the airplane. Here's what I think is the most enjoyable part of this project is assembling all these precision cut pieces and parts. These parts here go up to either side of the main part of the airplane. And to join all these parts together to make sure that they don't fall apart during flight, I'll be using some double-sided tape for these two parts, and then some of this Gorilla Super Glue, the gel kind, to glue the wing into place along with this wing in the back. And then to balance out the airplane in flight, I will be weighting the nose down with some blue painter's tape. The assembly of this airplane went together very smoothly and quickly, making this a great project to do if you don't have a lot of time, but you want to get some laser time in. As you saw, while I was putting together this airplane, I was using a combination of double-sided tape and this Gorilla Super Glue. I did that to demonstrate that there's different ways of joining all the pieces of foam together. If you don't have either one of these double-sided pieces of tape or that super glue, you can use a hot melt glue gun to put the model together. You also saw that I was wrapping some blue painter's tape around the nose to weight it down so that it would fly straight and true. Feel free to experiment with that by adding tape, taking tape away. I prefer to use tape rather than putting pennies or coins on this. That way, if I lose any of those coins in the yard, the lawnmower doesn't find them and shoot them into a window. I really enjoyed making this video for you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, or ringing that notification bell to know as soon as another great video like this comes out. Doing any number of those things really helps me out, it helps the channel out, and it's a great way to connect content like this with other great viewers like yourself. Until next time, learn, create, and share.